saying we could do like a whole grumpy old doctor episode, man.
We should.
That'd like be 3 hours long.
Wow. You'd be sweating.
And another thing.
Yeah. Dude.
I get in moods like that, man. I just can't take it.
When do you think that started happening? Was that 45, 50?
No, honestly,
Yeah.
I was pretty even keeled until the past 3 or 4 years.
Voldemort.
That professionally drove me
Like
over the edge. And
you.
now now I'm in throat punch mode for almost everything.
You know what you kind of remind me of now? You have this odd mix of remember the bad guy? Oh, what's his name? In No Country for Old Men.
Yes.
What's his Del Toro.
No, I know.
Javier Bardem.
Javier Bardem.
Yeah.
With his dumb haircut.
Yeah.
But he's the scariest dude ever.
Yeah.
But he's like, when he's talking to that shop owner, he's like, so you inherited this?
Uh-huh.
And he's like, well, I guess if you said, he's sneezing, he's like, oh my gosh. It's just, he has no time for anything.
Yeah, that's what it anymore.
You're kind of that guy.
I think I am now. It's unfortunate. I didn't want to be that guy. My daughter told me the same thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
Yeah. But yeah, I know. I need a little therapy, I think.
We were just talking before we started recording. How do you think the pyramids were made? Aliens?
That's so freaking cool, actually, if you think about it. I don't know. I've listened to all that stuff. I think it's fascinating, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm open to anything because, I mean, you look at just the complexity of that, how the materials got there in the first, just getting the materials on location.
And I think that's the biggest challenge that they come up with, right?
God, yeah.
Because the blocks are so big.
I don't think people really have an understanding on how freaking heavy that is.
And they supposedly can.
And
they pulled them from a distance very far away.
Yeah. I forgot all the details, like 500 miles away down the river or something. Anyway, but it's fascinating. I don't know.
What's aliens? Do you go aliens?
I don't know, man.
Be honest.
I honestly don't know.
Do you think back then they were smarter than we give them credit for?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I do.
Maybe not in so we went down modern day. We went down like Tesla, not Elon Tesla, but
Nikola Tesla. Yeah.
Like electricity development, but maybe they had more leverage development, as in like ways to mechanically make stuff.
That's the whole thing that would be cool about a time machine, man.
Right. What time would you go to? When you were born in the 20s or something. But you'd be an adult.
Just to be clear, you are obviously math challenged. I was barely born in the 60s by about 5 days.
I think you were going to say barely born in the 20s.
No.
What time would you go to?
Yeah. Probably. I'd probably go to like 0 AD. That'd be one of them.
Whoa. Just to know.
Yeah.
Just to be like,
no, just
damn Christians are right.
The historical. No, dude. I'm open to anything. Just the historical. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Definitely pre-Ice Age too.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So just you want to see dinosaurs and stuff?
No, there's no dinosaurs pre-Ice Age, dude.
Why not?
Dude.
I thought they died in the Ice Age.
No. We're going to have a talk.
When did dinosaurs die?
65 million years ago, pretty much.
That's before the Ice Age, no?
Yeah, but we're talking about... So man lived through the Ice Age.
Okay.
Modern humans did.
I'm talking about T-Rexes.
Yeah, those are orders of magnitude in the past.
So you don't want to go 65 million years ago. You want to go like 5 million years ago.
No, like 100,000 years ago.
Why not 150,000 years?
Well, that's fine too, but somewhere around there. And then like...
What makes you want to go to that time?
Just to see what they had figured out. You know, and if you believe any of these later impact theories, like the Younger Dryas impact and all that from 11,000 years ago.
I see what you're saying. You would like to see
I'd like to see like
human civilization look like at that time. Mm-hmm. Not for the dinosaurs.
Because it's prehistory. It's not recorded, right?
Yeah.
Because I think basically I have to pick up the pieces afterwards.
Yeah.
So, I think that'd be cool.
You go pretty far then. I was thinking like the 1500s. medieval.
Oh, hell no. That's horrible.
I feel like it'd be kind of interesting to see.
If you were in the right class, you'd been all right.
Castles. Yeah, true.
Okay,
Yeah.
but what would you bring with you? I'm assuming antibiotics.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And some kind of automatic weapon.
Yeah, you'd want to have some sort of, I mean, they would think you're a wizard for sure. Some sort of warlock,
Plenty of ammo.
you know, because you're shooting stuff. So they'd be like, what the hell
What
is
if
this?
they had automatic weapons and then we lost the technology?
That would be intense. They had a Gatling gun, but like a knight's outfit.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I don't think so, though.
Okay. Yeah, I'm also kind of obsessed with like the 20s and 30s. I wouldn't mind just maybe because like movies and stuff like that kind of make it look like so awesome.
Dude,
For some people.
what,
obviously.
Prohibition and leading up to the Great Depression?
Yeah.
I'm going to pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I just go right to 1943.
Just go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. No.
There's something about those kind of simpler times, quote unquote. You
Yeah, I
know,
know. The nostalgia for the simpler times.
yeah, but then automobiles are still around.
Yeah.
You just start your hot rodding in the
I don't think
30s.
it sucked, dude. They thought you would freaking disappear if you went over 30 miles an hour or something.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't believe in aliens, guys.
Is there any wars though that you would want to be like present for? Like,
Nope.
To see
Gettysburg?
Nope.
Gettysburg,
Sitting on the hill just watching them?
Napoleonic Wars.
Nope.
That'd be pretty gruesome, actually. You'd see a lot of people
Nope.
getting blown up by cannonballs and
That's
shit.
true.
Nope. I think anybody that's been around war doesn't want to be anywhere near war.
Yeah.
I do not want any part of that.
Although, can I just say, like one of those battles, like in Troy, where they got the big catapults, just seeing flaming.
The
like,
Trojan horse.
Oh,
That kind of stuff is cool.
see, now you're turning.
Yeah, but anyway.
See if Helen of Troy is real and
Oh,
what she actually looked like.
I bet she
She
wasn't.
worth it?
I bet she wasn't hot.
yeah. I find your 0 AD pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That would be like, would you be in the Middle East kind of area?
Oh, yeah.
Right there.
Of course.
Like in the heart of it?
Yeah. Be cool.
Gosh, That'd be pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
You're just Chris there at the Last Supper, just hanging out. Can you pass the bread, please?
That's what it'd be. Got to go check.
Yeah. Is it gluten free?
Yeah. I freaking painting bombed it. You know?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well,
Wow.
with that, we got more serious topics.
Actually related to the podcast?
Yes.
Cool.
Like wrist locks. Okay.
You should take this one.
Well, we had a question come in.
Mm-hmm.
And partly you can kind of deal with this. This guy goes by Smidgy Balls McGee. That's
Is
his
that
nickname.
real?
Yes. He's a 51-year-old man that goes by Smidgy Balls McGee.
I already like him.
Probably your cousin.
I like him.
So he says a 51-year-old white belt who's been training for a year and a half.
Mm-hmm. Good man.
Yep. And he's hooked on wrist locks for about the last 6-7 months. And he just wants to know if he's a piece of shit.
No.
And then also he's wondering what's with the stigma and the casting into the shadow realm constantly from other practitioners for doing wrist locks, especially at the younger belt levels.
Yeah.
Should he feel cheap, he's wondering. And he's saying they come naturally, but his wife actually calls him a cheater. What should he do?
Keep doing what you're doing. My spouse is known for liking to wrist lock people.
So you're promoting a white belt to start wrist locking.
Dude, it's a joint, man. As long as you're not manipulating fingers.
I'm happy to hear you say this.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, we always talk crap about it.
Sure.
You know, I think one of our black belts is like, yeah, this is a lot of effort. Why don't you just wrist lock him? You know, I like this.
I wrist locked someone today.
Yeah.
Actually, cool story. I got to roll with an orange belt on Thursday, and their father's probably listening. But
I know who you're talking about.
I think he's 13 years old.
Oh, my audio just went out. There it goes.
Oh, sorry.
How dare you?
Okay.
13 years old.
Yep.
This young buck.
Yep, I
I've
saw
never
him.
seen him in class before.
Yep.
So I asked him if he'd like to roll. He said yes.
Mm-hmm.
and I wrist locked him.
Okay.
In about a minute and a half. Mm-hmm. And then I knee barred him.
You feel good about yourself?
Not yet. Mm-hmm. At this moment, I was like, I could be a douchebag. Mm. Then I ankle locked him. Mm-hmm. And then I knee barred him again. And that's when I knew I'm awesome.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
What?
Yeah.
What would you say?
Say you're a douchebag.
Excuse you.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Knee barring children.
13 in some states is not a child. Okay, first of all. Number 2, I think you start them young. Let's talk about the stigma of wrist locks. Why do you think?
No, I wasn't talking about the wrist lock.
What are you talking about?
The knee bar.
What's wrong with that?
Dude.
What's wrong with knee barring?
There's nothing wrong with knee barring someone that knows how to get out of a knee bar.
Don't
or
allow
not
knee
get
bars? You seen that video? Knee bars? They're illegal knee bars? He's like this New Jersey guy that gets kicked out of like Naga or something like
That's
that.
hilarious.
Yeah. And he just freaks out. Okay, so what's your bugaboo with knee bars? On earlier, younger humans?
No, if you know them real well, that wouldn't be the first thing I'd do when I rolled with a new kid. If you rolled with him for a while and he's advanced and you know he's not going to try to spaz out of something, he might end up hurting himself if you get him in the
How's he
position.
going to hurt himself?
If he doesn't,
Compared to an armbar.
if he has his hip trapped and he doesn't know how to get out of it, he could hurt his knee.
But couldn't you hurt your shoulder in an armbar?
Yeah, there's a little more wiggle room there.
I think you're playing semantics.
I don't think so.
This is where we're going to cross paths.
That's fine.
I think a knee bar is just as safe.
You're not even answering the damn question, dude.
What was the question, actually?
About wrist locks.
Oh, yeah. So I think I agree with Old Man River. I did. I agree with Old Man River that you keep doing you, boo-boo.
Yep.
Show them what that pee-pee do. And keep wrist locking.
Yeah.
Stay on the train.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Once you start wrist locking, if you stop wrist locking, they're going to think you like a little something in your butt.
Dude, I don't even know how you made that connection.
You call yourself educated.
Yeah.
So basically what I'm saying is true love is blind. You know? Mm-hmm. So keep it up. Don't feel bad. If people shame you, embrace the shame.
Yep.
That's the best part.
Even better is get in an armbar position and instead of actually finishing the armbar, wrist lock him.
One of my favorites.
Yeah.
One of my absolute favorites.
I saw you do it to that young man.
Oh, you did?
I was right there, dude. I was there on Saturday and I called you a piece of shit.
Did I have him in an armbar? And
yes, and you wrist locked him. Yeah.
See, that's called a double entendre.
No,
that's absolutely not.
It is absolutely not a double entendre, but that's okay.
Well, it's where you are doing one thing and you say, look over here, and then boom, you get him with something else.
No.
Double jeopardy.
Okay.
No.
Double jeopardy.
Right?
Perhaps. That's better. Dude, I feel like I'm having to pull you off the ledge like multiple times today.
Bill's off the rails today.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, you get me talking about aliens. So I just want to support this fellow, 51-year-old.
I have no problem with what he's
And
doing.
you're old as dirt, dude. You're about to freaking die probably. Pass in some sort of dust. So you might as well just destroy as many
I hope
wrists as
this is
possible.
someone we know and not you.
I don't think it is.
Oh, gosh.
As someone over 50, dude, keep doing it and don't listen to what Bill's saying.
What do you think is behind the stigma, though? Seriously. Like, what do you think that is?
I think it sucks to get caught in them because it seems like bullshit.
Because it's like the smallest joint.
That's right.
And
it's a real small movement.
Yeah.
And you got them.
to where you almost don't even see it sometimes.
That's right. And they're tricky sometimes.
I think also there's something about, I don't know what it is, but when you get wrist locked, you're more prone to tapping with not like a physical tap or even like a tap.
Yep.
Some people naturally will tap like that's how they'll tap.
Will they?
They'll just Actually,
Bills, I know what you're doing right now.
we have a guy in the gym that tapped like that a week ago. A purple belt. He moaned.
You might be sending the wrong signal with that kind of tap.
Yo, for sure.
That's all I'm saying.
He was in another person's gym and he got tapped. And he goes,
You're horrible.
I'm not lying though, right?
I wasn't present for it. You had to reenact.
But there was
it for me.
witnesses.
Yeah,
was
knowing
witnesses.
you, as long as I've known you, you tend to exaggerate, though.
Oh, he definitely exaggerated it.
Well, I don't know about that. I do want to keep his name under wraps because that would be kind of rude. You know.
When has that stopped you before?
Yeah, his name's Seth.
Oh my gosh. What's wrong with you?
You're the worst.
He is the worst.
Got him.
So there's
I thought you were actually going to be respectful.
there's nothing wrong with wristlocks, dude.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong. I think, yes, the stigma just comes from it being like almost like the smallest joint that we can kind of manipulate a little bit. But
You know what?
The sneakiness that you were talking
Yeah.
about, where you're typically like, you don't see it coming a lot of the time, where you think you're kind of like in a little bit of a bad spot, but not too much, and then out of nowhere, boom.
It's the same feeling I get after I get wrist locked, like if someone catches me in a double ankle sweep from close guard.
Oh, like a dummy sweep. You just feel dumb.
Yeah.
You're like, really?
Yeah.
And another thing that adds to the stigma, I think,
What?
is when you get wrist locked.
Yeah.
A lot of time you're not in like a crazy tangled position. So when you tap,
Yep.
it's almost like you don't even reset. They just let the wrist go, and you're like, should we just keep going?
I had taken my wife's back, preparing to choke her, and she wrist locked me from that position.
And you're like, I don't want to reset.
No, I was like, let's be.
Can I just stay on your back? And we'll
And it's
keep
not just
going?
me. She gets multiple people with this
Yeah.
kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, there's a craftiness to it. What's another like ankle locks are kind of looked at that similarly.
They used to be.
Not as much anymore,
No.
for sure. They're much more respected now.
Especially if you got solid technique.
Yeah, when someone that knows how to put on an ankle lock can really put one on,
Yeah.
you start to go like, okay, that's real.
Yeah.
But
I know ones that like people just don't like is it seems like people don't like Ezekiel chokes.
Well, they suck.
But I feel
That's a
like people
good
kind
point.
of get a little upset when you do them.
That's
What?
too bad.
I think I know why. What do you have any idea or any thoughts on why?
Well,
people
if
get-
someone goons one over the trachea and
which
doesn't
can happen a lot,
of course,
Yeah,
but doesn't have the blades of the wrist kind of set.
chokes, the
Yeah,
choking
yeah.
part.
It can get kind of goony for if you just. I mean, you could sit there and just throttle someone with an Ezekiel choke. You know, I mean, it's easy to pain compliant tap someone with it.
I think along those lines, I think the reason that people will look at an Ezekiel as just kind of a jerk move or something like that is because specifically the Ezekiel from Mount
Yeah, that's the one.
is kind of hard to get good artery connection on both sides.
Yeah.
Just because the nature of having to you have to swipe over their face.
I usually try to pull someone into like that side tactical mount a little bit.
Yeah.
And then come around, get the knee around behind their shoulder and kind of get them with
Because
it
then
from there.
when you flick that blade,
Yeah.
it's not going over their nose.
Correct.
It's kind of going over the side of their face.
It's
and
going
then
right into
into
position.
good connection.
Yeah.
Rather than a mounted one, you're kind of naturally going at the trachea.
Now let me tell you, depending on the situation, I have done that before.
Well, I know it. I've seen you do it. I know. There might even be a video. No, okay. It wasn't a full-blown Ezekiel, but for Nikita's Shark Tank for his birthday.
Yeah.
There is a clip of you. You had his back flattened out.
Yeah, I flattened him completely.
And you had the choking grip.
Yep.
But it wasn't like a super deep choking grip.
Nope.
And then you wrapped it, and then you just literally shoved
Pushed
the
his head
back
down.
of his head into the mat.
That was bad.
So you're like,
So the poor guy got grapevined down flat on his belly. Yeah.
while your hips are digging into his pelvis or his
Sacrum.
sacrum,
Yeah.
sanctimonium, and then you're just shoving his face into the mat
Yeah, I did.
while you're
I
pulling
did.
on his lapel.
Yeah, it's just because it was his birthday and he got Shark Tank.
That was crappier than an Ezekiel, I think.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it wasn't very nice.
I'm gonna be honest. I never have really been taught like Ezekiel, like officially, I feel like.
BS.
Well, maybe by you. But the thing is, I didn't know it was about the connection to the arteries. So I was definitely trachea.
The Ezekiel
everybody.
that I've shown is from the technical side mount.
Okay, well, I've only done it from mount.
And even from mount, you kind of got to shift over a little bit. You know what I mean?
You have to
Never
take
done
the
that.
slack from the person's neck
Bill,
sitting
you
on top of your.
told me to act like I'm trying to cut their head off, like through the
That's part of the
floor.
motion.
I know, but like pushing through the floor, like pushing their neck through the floor.
Yes,
From
you're
mount,
trying to
not
literally
from the
cut their
side.
head off.
Yeah, but not from the side.
Yeah.
I learned this when I was like a white belt.
Well,
like a blue belt.
I will blame you, Bill, for that instruction.
But-
it was definitely from.
But as Chris was saying, like if you get that Ezekiel, let's say from mount, their head is typically your elbow deep. So
Sliding.
your biceps kind of making connection with the side of their neck. Their head is over the fat part of your forearm. And then when you start to swipe and kung fu move that blade in to finish them, you should shallow it so the wrist now is underneath their head or neck.
Yeah, that's where you get that connection a little better.
Rather than if you're out here, you're only going to get to the trachea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Sure.
So,
We got off the rails.
Yeah, a little
What is it?
Today.
okay, but with submissions,
Thanks, Smidgy Balls.
do they have to be like officially like blood chokes and stuff like that?
No.
Like, as in, can some submissions just be due to pain?
Short choke.
Yeah.
Well, because like if you do just like the trachea, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just a pain thing. That's not because you're going to lose consciousness.
Well, you could actually kill somebody.
But I feel
You
like
can get a collapsed trachea, or you're not really going to
Okay,
go
so
out and
maybe
do that
don't do
air
that.
loss.
Yeah, don't do that. You don't. That's the word. You don't want to crush someone's trachea.
That's why people typically tap pretty quick to like air chokes.
Yeah, their airway.
Because they're so painful.
But why is it that it feels like people look down on things like that, or like cranks versus like blood?
Because you can really hurt someone.
Okay.
I think there's a part of it, which is there's some genuine like yeah, people can get
Yeah, there's some danger.
yeah.
Cranks and
But I think there is a little bit of purity in the kill that comes into play. We like a clean finish when it is like anybody and everybody that's a practitioner respects a very clean submission.
that's right.
Whether it's an arm bar, in any submission.
Where you have the connection, the leverage
Yes.
correct, and you're not. And it doesn't really take a lot of force.
Almost looks effortless.
That's right.
It's a pure kill, super clean. And some of these other things, like let's say a can opener or a short choke, or
I don't mind the short choke if you do it right.
I don't mind it too much either. But things that or the goon choke,
Yeah.
which some people probably call it something else, but these are things that take quite a bit of effort, so it can be looked at like as goony
yeah.
rather than just pure and clean.
That's right.
Like you have to force it and put in a ton of effort to actually finish it. It's one of the reasons why Marcelo doesn't like, I think it was Kimura's. I think it was, because he feels like it's more of a strength move. He really favored stuff that put him at a huge advantage mechanically, like a north-south choke or a guillotine.
But if you look at and the pushback to that is if you look at the way Danaher breaks down Kimura's, there's a highly technical aspect of it. If you do it correctly, you don't have to goon someone with it.
Right. And I don't quite understand that example when he talks about Kimura's, because you're doing a 2-on-1. So you're going to have a massive leverage advantage.
You're just talking about the gripping and ripping type instead of
Probably.
really getting the elbow up to the shoulder line and you know what I mean, taking the
Yeah.
slack out of the system and then doing a pull type of submission.
Yeah.
Instead of you know what I'm saying.
So there's certain techniques that certain people have I don't really like those because it takes so much effort. And he's someone that did open class, so maybe that's a part of it. The open weight divisions, and he's a smaller guy, so yeah. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Bob's your uncle. I sent you a video,
Yeah.
a workout video from a guy named Joshua Settlage. He's a pretty popular fella.
Yeah.
He's got 32,900 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
And he's got, I think, even more on Instagram. But this guy's, I've seen his stuff before. He's pretty popular because he posts a lot of strength and conditioning stuff for grapplers and like stuff like that. And we had this, we had someone send in a video that is titled "Build Strength and Conditioning for Jiu-Jitsu with this training split." He posted this a year ago, and we can put it in the description if people want to check it out. But the question was, is what this guy's talking about legit?
Yeah.
Is it good, bad, or is there more information?
The short answer is it legit in a vacuum? Absolutely. So he's taken a lot of this from back in my kind of powerlifting type, before I did jiu-jitsu and stuff, just doing my strength coach type stuff. I was fortunate enough to have an incredible coach, one of the best powerlifting coaches on the planet, Marty Gallagher. But there's also another camp, Westside Barbell, absolutely amazing, innovators. Yeah, Louis Simmons. Yeah. Had this really, really kind of good program, basically the conjugate system. It's a way of periodizing a system where the classic conjugate system, and I don't claim to be.
What does that word?
Well, I'll explain.
Okay.
You're joining two things, and I'll explain what that means here in a second. I don't claim to be a subject matter expert. I don't train at Westside Barbell, but I've done variations of that type of program because it's been very popular and very effective. So it comes down to the classic, and I'm simplifying this greatly, but it comes down to like a 4-day-a-week strength program. So 2 of those days split up is a max effort day for lower body, a max effort upper body. It usually involves the lower body, some type of squat, deadlifty type of thing. Variations of the movement, okay, but generally, and you'll work your way up to a max effort. And then you'll do the same with an upper body. It could be variations of a press, bench press, floor press, all kinds of different pressing movements where you'll work your way up to a single, up to max effort where you're where your max is basically.
Yeah.
The other 2 days is split into instead of the low rep strength thing, it'd be more of a speed type of thing where you'll do light, like a 50% 1 rep max load. And you'll work on speed. Still good technique, but you're going to be trying to generate more speed.
Is that going to be similar? This is just in my mind. What the Marunoviches were doing with BJ Penn. I don't know if you remember that.
I'd have to go back and look, man. I don't want to say yes or no. I would have to tell you.
I just remember he was doing a lot of it was almost like it was stuff with weights, but there was a lot of speed and explosion.
Yeah, the West Side folks use a lot. They'll use bands in addition to their to change the force curve. A lot of really cool innovative,
as in like adding bands to like the bar.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. Okay.
So a lot of innovative stuff. Really cool. Like I said, I've done my share of it. And then interspersed on those 2 max strength days and 2 speed days with one of the max strength days, let's say you're doing legs, and you'll do some accessory exercises like specifically for hamstrings or whatever, and the same thing, you'll add in these different accessory exercises. There can be, it's the variety that's really important, how they shuffle which max effort to do. The thing is, each one of those, in my experience, takes about 60 to 90 minutes per session. And the load, the dose is incredible. I mean, for instance,
as in the taxing of the body.
Yeah, because this goes back to allostatic load, right? So if you are an 18-year-old that is a professional jiu-jitsu athlete, let's say you're a 20-year-old, like you're a Mika Caval or someone.
Colabate.
Let's say you don't have a job. That is your job.
Yeah.
Okay. You can basically eat, sleep, and train.
Yeah.
Something like this absolutely can be fantastic. You can recover. You don't have these other stresses in your life. You can really dial stuff in. For the hobbyist that has a job, be very, very difficult, especially as you age. We just are not going to be able to put that kind of volume in, not just volume, but the volume and intensity together, the overall dose or load, whatever you want to call it, and train jiu-jitsu.
Because if it's a 4-day a week.
Yeah. Well, and he even says, I watched the video, he even says, we can bring the amount of days and alternate and kind of, but it's still, when you're doing max effort, that is a huge hit on your central nervous system. It just is.
Because the next day doing a jiu-jitsu session
it's
after
gonna be rough, dude.
The strength session is going to be a pretty...
if you're between
38 years old.
if you're 18 between 18 and 25, dude, you can whatever, right? Have at it. Okay. For most of us, though, that's just not the case.
Yeah.
And he does bring up some things about, fixing muscle imbalances and things like that, which is great. But what I tried to do, if you remember several years ago, I tried to come up with just a very basic core movement program.
Yeah.
Because
which we have on the YouTube page.
Yeah. I mean, it's super, super fundamental and basic, but it gets the idea across how important that isometric strength is in jiu-jitsu. Grappling isometric strength is super important. And we were using that eccentric isometric protocol where you do that slow lowering, you do a hold, and then you do an explosion. So you try to have your cake and eat it too. So because you're trying to get the minimum input and maximal results while you're not overtraining. And there's that built-in thing where if you weren't feeling good and you only got 3 reps and if you started to slow on your explosion, you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of built in the nervous system. I tried to build in the state of the nervous system to the thing. So you're not doing a rote reps every time.
I had a really good example of that today at class when I had to roll with the Brazilian tractor.
Oh, yeah.
And he swept me. And then there was, I think...
Was it a deep half sweep?
Of course.
Yeah, he's amazing at it.
We sat there for probably 3 minutes.
In deep half?
Where he was underneath me.
Oh, yeah, he's patient, too.
And I felt so good. And then I just overcommitted.
He'll wait.
Got me.
I love it.
And I yelled as he did it. Ah!
I know.
And
I
then,
know. He's great, though.
But there was only a minute and a half left, I think. Maybe 2 minutes. Probably a minute and a half. And I see he looked up at the clock. So he knew. And he was just going to bear down and we're trying to win the round, right?
Oh,
so,
I understand.
And he's strategically playing it very smart because he's like, I'm not going to pass. I'm not going to just...
He had a sweep points.
Just lock him down.
That's right.
So for the next minute and a half, the amount of tension
that's right
between us was... It was
the isometric tension? Yeah. Plus, he's very strong.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's definitely got me beat there. And even though they were the same size. And so he had his... Essentially, I was in butterfly half, like with the knee shield kind of thing.
Top?
I was on bottom.
Oh, okay.
He just got checked. He had his right grip. I was on my left hip. He had his right grip on my bottom knee.
Yep.
Like just pinning it to the mat.
Yep.
And then his left grip was, I think, like a belt grip.
Yep.
So he's just kind of smushing me, essentially.
Yeah, you're having those opposing forces, basically.
And I'm trying to get my leg free, the bottom leg, so I can get into some sort of spider variation.
Or something, to create some space or
yeah.
something, yeah. Yep.
I get the leg, so that alone took 30 seconds to get my leg free.
Yeah.
Of him just isometrically holding. And then I was able to get my foot into the bicep, and then I'm starting to try to off balance via anything, which wasn't working too well. So for the next minute was just, once again, he wasn't really coming forward. He was just bearing down. And then me having to hold his, like these frames, but then also move around. And I had to have tension the whole time because there's urgency because there's a minute left.
That's right.
And that was just incredibly taxing, which the workouts that if you go to on our YouTube page under the playlist, you'll see phase 1 strength.
Yeah, and that also goes into what we posted fairly recently, those band stuff where you have to maintain your own frame, basically, your own structure.
Yep.
I've gotten really geeked out into that type of strength training as a carryover because I don't have the luxury of doing huge volume. I can't. I just physically can't. Sometimes I only get 1 day a weekend of strength training.
Is that enough?
It's got to be. It becomes this, what master am I serving? When you get older and you have all these other things going on and your allostatic load here, you have to make some choices, basically. Because I'm not saying you can't do it once, but that training overload will accumulate very quickly, and then you'll end up getting sick and hurt and that type of thing. So it's not a question of want.
Yeah.
It's a question of what you have to make these smart decisions. Otherwise, you're going to crash and burn. I also, some of these strength programs, I've really bought into the whole FRS stuff, as you know, really training these odd angle strength type of in-range strength at odd angles.
Specifically for us grapplers.
Totally.
Yeah.
I was just showing some of our a purple belt and our blue belt a way to, when someone's getting side, like if you have a De La Riva set up, they stuff your leg that's on their hip in between their legs, and then they kind of kill your De La Riva hook.
Headquarters-y kind of
thing. Yeah, headquarters-y, and then they start smashing the leg down. Showing a like that kind of hip shovel, bringing a leg in and really using a very odd angle and generating force there. And I feel like I wouldn't be able to do that as effectively without the kind of training I'm doing. So that, to me, that's having... And this is someone, I've been an athlete all my life, strength training in some sport, my entire adult life. And I've really kind of narrowed it down to, at this point in my life, of getting the most important inputs for what I need. And dude, everyone wants to, that guy even brought up in the video here, today is the day just to get jacked. It's like, well, that's great. But, I don't have that luxury, and many other people don't either. So you have to make some choices. So,
especially being recreational grapplers.
That's my point. Yeah. So no, the program is very well thought out. I'm just going to tell you. I looked at. It's based on West Side Conjugate type of stuff. It's very successful. You can get strong as hell doing that. Especially if that's all you're doing. You want just to get strong, right? But now we're juggling that in jiu-jitsu, and I think if you're selling this to like a professional MMA fighter or a professional jiu-jitsu athlete that has that kind of ability to recover.
But if we're talking about our recreational 35 plus that only gets to train 3 days a week. Yep. And if he's lucky, sometimes 4 maybe.
Yeah, you're gonna the max effort stuff, you're gonna likely crash and burn pretty quickly.
What about the people like that have, maybe they'll do they have a random day off during the week and they're going to do jiu-jitsu on that day, but they're adding strength and conditioning, something like this, doing that in the same day. So jiu-jitsu, and now we're not talking about the young athlete. They might be able to do a 2-a-day like that. Maybe even not recommended if the jiu-jitsu is like a hard session, but we're talking about your recreational guy that's 39 years old and or plus, and he's got a day off, so he's going to go to the night class in jiu-jitsu. Should he do something like this workout program earlier in the day, or vice versa?
Not my opinion.
Yeah.
No. Either way, you're hitting the nervous system really hard, right? So if you do it before you have a fatigued central nervous system, you're trying to get skill acquisition. We've talked about that before. Getting your body into right places, trying to generate force from different, you want to have everything lined up really well.
Is it the risk reward of injury comes into play?
Yeah, man. It really is. It really is. And that's my primary goal right now in jiu-jitsu is of skill acquisition, maintaining a level of fitness, but primarily injury prevention, just avoiding getting injured.
Being able to train at the next session.
Yep. And so this is
nothing will stunt your progress than not being able
an injury
to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so again, this is not putting that program down at all. I think it's great. It's just that I don't think it's as practical for most of us.
Like a recreational, maybe hobby.
Yeah, just think about what you need, and what you need may not be what I need, right? And that's where individualized.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously a young stud, So,
but like you and I may have very different needs as far as I need more hamstring strength and flexibility, or do you know what I mean? Or I have an imbalance here. I don't have let's say my hips aren't mobile.
Yeah.
Trying to generate force in a compromised position when your body hasn't trained for it, you're going to set up those alert systems in the nervous system. It will lock everything down.
Yeah.
The myotatic reflex, that whole thing. And that's how people get injured. Because that's how I tore my damn adductor. That's exactly how I did it.
Good for you for not calling out my small chest right there. I thought you were going to be like, some people need hamstring help and you need chest help.
No, this aesthetics thing is secondary to function, right?
You.
No, it's the truth, though.
That's how I justify it every time I look in the mirror when I get out of the shower. Like, aesthetics is just bullshit.
If you're a bodybuilder, it's not. But if you're not a bodybuilder,
what am I?
Who are you? I don't know. What are you? But you're not a bodybuilder, are you?
I'm a man, and I'm 40.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
You ever heard that?
40 pizzas.
I ate 40 pizzas in 30 days.
What's it from?
The Little John's guy.
Oh.
When he got...
I'm with you.
The CEO, he got kicked out. Remember Little...
Yeah,
is it Little John?
Little Caesar?
Papa John.
Papa John.
Little John.
From Robin.
Pizza.
From Robin Hood, right?
Yeah. So Papa John.
Yeah.
He was on the commercials and stuff. And then he got outed because he dropped the N-bomb a while ago or something. And then he did an interview about how mad he was at the people that took over. He's like, they don't know pizzas.
Oh, yeah. I saw
I
that.
know pizzas. And he's like sweating.
Yeah.
He's like red faced.
Yeah, his red face. He's all swollen. He's like, I've had 30 pizzas in the last 20 days or something like that.
That's
40 pizzas in the last 30 days.
Hilarious.
Yeah. And you're just like, oh my gosh, dude, you're dying.
How about not do that?
You're out of control.
I feel you, but how about not?
Some people do it with alcohol and cocaine and fentanyl.
It's the same part. It's the dopamine system in the brain,
He
dude.
does it with Hawaiian pizza.
Apparently.
And the dude was just sweating. So, yeah.
That's hilarious.
And then there was another one, the 40, I'm a man and I'm 40. You never heard that one? It was like a football coach.
No.
Some journalist was tearing apart like a college kid, they're being kind of rude in an article. And the coach just goes off on him. He's like, you want to talk like that? You talk about me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Oh, no.
Ever since then,
That's
He's
funny.
been wanting to say that for like 10 years, and now he finally gets
at
to.
least 10 years I've wanted to say that. Now that I'm 40, I can say it every day.
Yeah. Enjoy it while it lasts, dude. Enjoy it.
Oh, I'm saying it for the rest of my life.
Okay.
And now it actually means
So
4 more months.
that's, we've talked about this kind of thing before, but, man, there's so many ways to kind of do this, to strength train and all that. It'd be good to find out what you actually need and not what someone else needs.
I got a question. Someone asked me this, but just my opinion. They said, what do I wish I had done earlier on in my journey when I was like a blue belt or something like that?
Oh, I thought you meant like in life.
Oh, wow. That's another podcast.
Yeah.
What do I wish I would have maybe worked on or developed or focused on earlier on? Now that I look back, I'll give my answer in a second, but what did you say? Or what would you say to that? Something that you could have, if you could go back, I would have done this when I was white and blue.
I would have really taken a strong look at it took a couple injuries before I had to reassess of and break down the actual requirements of this sport / martial art as far as, and I know all this stuff, I came into it with, with that background, but I didn't do it. I didn't like, oh wow, we're generating force from these odd angles. I don't train like that. You think
that would have helped with injury prevention from the get-go?
Yes. Yeah. I do. Being able to develop isometric strength at end ranges, that type of thing, and really try to increase my the joint capabilities, more in stabilization, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Stuff I know, but, I was like, oh, because what I was doing at the time, mountain biking, rock climbing, whatever, they have their own things, right?
Yeah.
Rock climbing is actually more like jiu-jitsu than anything else, generating force from weird angles. But anyway, I just didn't.
Yeah.
And I just kept doing the same crap I did. And then
Right.
I had to be like, I need to and it was right around blue belt. I was like, I need to reassess this stuff.
Yeah. The stuff that you were doing is good, but it's not as applicable and doesn't serve you as much for what you're focusing on now.
No. And I was a 45-year-old white belt when I started, so I
Right.
really should have been dialing it in.
Yeah, my answer was actually similar. Is I wish I had done strength training like pretty much from the get-go, just to strengthen the body, strengthen joints, all that kind of stuff. Like, just I think it would have been super helpful. Let alone getting like eating better right away,
Absolutely.
and like
Yeah.
on like the healthier journey that I'm on.
Yeah.
Now. Like I wish I
Okay.
started that earlier,
Yeah.
just from I remember so many times how crappy I'd feel the next day after training because of whether it was alcohol or
Yeah.
just
Dairy
crap.
Queen.
Dairy Queen.
You had the inflammation you had going on.
Let me tell you what I used to do.
You've told me several times.
Yes. Let me rehash this.
Okay.
So after a hard training sesh, I would play the little scene from Parks and Rec that said, treat yourself. So then I would drive with my lovely bride, I would drive to Dairy Queen, and then I would get a mint Oreo McFlurry.
That's not Dairy Queen.
Oh, not McFlurry. Blizzard. Sorry. That's offensive. A mint Oreo Blizzard, large. A peanut butter parfait. That is vanilla ice cream with chocolate syrup and peanuts drizzled. Not poured, drizzled. And it's also huge. And then I would do a large cheese curds, which is deep fried cheese,
Yeah.
to the face.
And you recognized you had a problem, right?
3 years in, I did.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you on a 12-step program?
I'm on a gastritis program.
All of a sudden, it's like the wheels fell off, and you're like, I guess I can't do
jeez.
that anymore.
Yeah. What's causing this, Chris and Carrie?
You're out.
How much cream are you putting in your coffee? Well, probably 6 ounces.
That wasn't that was such a little part of it. How much cream you putting in your coffee?
No, that was just another.
It couldn't have been the freaking blizzards and
Yeah.
Or the energy drinks.
Oh, jeez.
Well,
Look at the earlier episodes. You'll see I only had Bang energy drinks.
I know,
and,
dude. Yeah, you're getting that freaking vein ready. You're like, yeah, buddy.
Hit it.
Yeah, let me mainline that stuff.
Yeah.
How many stops to the convenience store or like the
jeez.
gas station and grab?
It's delicious.
What's funny though, it's not funny, but it's interesting when you really do clean up all that stuff and then you try to do it again, you feel so horrible that it's like instantly like, nope.
Especially, I don't know if it was an article or something. We found out that like Dairy Queen, their ice cream,
Isn't even real.
it's not even real.
Oh, color me surprised.
Yeah. It's like blizzards are cat shit. Like it is bad. Like not
Dude,
good.
all that stuff is horrible. They were just talking, I think, on Rogan about the McDonald's hamburger. They just leave out. Someone has a record for
And
like
it never
30 years.
changes.
Or something. It
never molds.
looks like it's like 6 hours old. Gosh, what does that tell you, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Preservatives.
yeah, that stuff is so terrible for So anyway,
Yeah.
That inflammatory. People. That is a great point. I know people that are, dude. I couldn't have told my younger self this either.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, I feel fine.
Yeah.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
You're superhuman at this point.
It's like you don't realize how much better you will feel. Also,
That's the thing.
it's
Just
that
because you
beginning
can
is-
do it doesn't mean you should do it.
Yeah, and it's that beginning of kicking that crap that is kind of hard, like whether it's cravings or something like that. If I can recommend to people to listen to one of the more recent Lex Friedman podcasts with, I think his name's Neil Adams.
Yeah.
He's Neil Adams. He is Olympic judoka. He's the voice of judo. He's a British guy. There's a moment in there that I identified big time with because he was in the height of his judo Olympic career. He was in world's competition career. He was drinking like a fish.
Yep.
And it was interesting to hear him talk about that because I identified a lot with that. He was a functioning alcoholic, essentially, or functioning drinker.
I was 23 years old in dive school. Panama City in the summer. Morning dune runs and this horrible. We'd go out for like an hour.
Is that around the Panama Canal area?
No, get your geography down, brother. Panama City, Florida. Lower Alabama.
Oh, nice.
That's what we call it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but it's really warm out in the middle of
humid and stuff.
Yeah. And so anyway, and every Monday morning, we'd go out there. Our instructors would be running behind us, watching people just to fall out. But there's a couple dudes sweating out their alcohol, man, and you could smell it.
Oh, really?
And they would make it through.
Oof.
But I'm like,
torture.
Of course, you're that age, dude. But they were just freaking going to town at night and then coming in doing these horrific PT sessions.
Yeah. Dealing with all the lady boys in Bama.
There's not too many there, I don't think.
How do you know?
I don't think it's like Thailand. I think you could spot them from Bama.
An Alabama lady boy looks a little different.
I think they had a little more whiskers than I think most of the Thais have, if I had to guess.
I can imagine, yeah.
Yeah.
Last thing we had was from a dear friend of ours. We had talked about you having a clipboard at the tournament last time.
Yes.
And
we've gotten a lot of mileage out of that, I think.
We have.
Yeah.
You've changed your ways, realized that it was retarded to do that. And then you decided you're going to switch to an iPad.
The clipboard is a power move, dude.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. I get it.
It's a metal clipboard, too, as we discussed.
Strong move.
Yeah.
And you're going to switch to an iPad.
Yeah.
Because it's going to update and stuff like that.
Right.
But it's big. It's really like.
Actually, I have one right here.
Yeah. Look at you.
This is my iPad.
That's hard to hold like for 8 hours at a tournament. It could be annoying.
It might.
So, more than anything is we're looking for anyone that has an old set of Jnco jeans. If you could please donate them to the show or send us a link to where we can buy a pair. Jnco.
Jnco.
Yes. For you young bucks out there, Google it. Google
those pockets
2000
could fit
Jnco
multiple iPads.
jeans. Yes, he could fit a Super Nintendo and an iPad in those bad boys. This is what we want. We want to alleviate you of all this stress and get you a pair of Jnco so you can fit your iPad in them.
That's a dumb idea.
I didn't come up with it. A different friend came up with this.
Dude, how are you going to fit my butt and an iPad in a pair of jeans?
You don't know what Jncos are.
Oh,
I'm not wearing them.
Do you know what they are?
I've seen them before.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Like your memory is locked in?
The baggy ones.
Some would say they're baggy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Your caboose is fitting in those things. Right. And this damn table's fitting in them.
All right. So hard pass on that.
Okay. Well, still, if anyone sees a link, please send it to us.
What I would like is, how about wear the iPad with some type of apparatus that looks like a Flava Flav medallion?
Oh, we can get that.
That I can just then open it up and it's just hanging right there. From
I bet I have something for that because I have a GoPro chest mount.
You see?
I bet we could.
I bet
finagle something. You could put your glasses on.
That would look even cooler than the clipboard.
You
in
the coach's chair with your dumb iPad chest rig.
Can you imagine?
Okay.
Well, you guys put your heads together.
Thank you. We'll do that. We'll do that. Right. Guys, that's it. We thank you for listening, subscribing, liking, sharing.
I don't think people got past the first 10 minutes.
No.
I think they probably turned it off.
If you guys got it this far and you go to this dude's workout page that we put in the description, put "I'm here because of Grappling with Podcast." If there's one person, I'll be happy. And I'm going to look through every comment.
Amazing.
And if there's none, I'm going to kill myself.
Well,
all right.
Not literally.
but maybe.
See you later.